Hey out there in Toyland, I'm Johnny and welcome to another Johnny's Drive-In video. Today we're going to be talking about what's inside this box. This is from Big Bad Toy Store. Let's open it up and take a look inside. You're going to open it with me. So, here's this fancy box. I got scissors down here. Alright. Unboxing. Been sitting on my porch all day while I was at work. All right, and is that it? Okay, I believe so. Ooh, I'm nervous. Here's what the box looks like, guys. Some really nice. This is nice. Ooh, a bunch of toys. Ah! This is kind of cool. Whoa. Very cool, actually. Sergeant Slaughter. And look, these guys are in pristine condition. And it's unpunched. Whoa, just give me a moment to soak in the coolness. Alright, so there's Sergeant Slaughter. Who else we got? Oh, wow, this is the one I wanted the most. This is, wow, Andre the Giant. And I wanted him the most because he is modeled after Titus from the vintage line and the 200X line. And this is going to be so cool putting them together. I think you have to snap his legs in, and they come separately, so you can see from the side here. So his legs are back there, and stops there at his knees. This is so cool. And there's instructions in the back on how to snap it in. Let's see. Light might be too bright. I'm trying to find. There you go. Check that out. All right, let's see who else we got in here. Whoa, Brett, the Hitman Hart. This is some serious stuff here. Obviously, like the Triclops of the Masters of the WWE. The art in the back is kind of really cool, actually. Check that out. Whoa. Probably one of the best card backs, the art that I've seen of this series. And of course, Junkyard Dog, who is kind of dressed up like I got him here on the wall, Spike Orr. Whoa. Yeah, definitely. So I'm definitely going to be having him fight Spike Orr, my vintage Spike Orr that I have. Check out the texture on these toy cards. Masters of the WWE Universe logo. I'm a big fan of that stuff. It's like very shiny and glistening, and it's one thing about the 80s and 90s is that type of texture to the fonts and stuff. Loving it. It's got the rocks in the back, just like a tribute to Masters of the Universe. Here's Andre the Giant, straight out the box. I'm gonna have a lot of fun putting him against the vintage Motu in Origins. I really hope that they get Titus and Megator in this same size, so I could have it fit a constant theme. Bret the Hitman Hart. I'm just trying to take as many photos and videos as I can because I'm about to rip these suckers open. Sergeant Slaughter. Representing Man-at-Arms. Now I was thinking, what can I do with Sergeant Slaughter? I'm thinking like, well, he's obviously the man-at-arms of WWE here, so like I guess he could be man-at-arms to the He-Man Rock figure that I have. I didn't get the John Cena one. I just have the Rock He-Man figure. So maybe if I ever get the Origins castle, I can put them all in that castle. Cool. Alright, guys. Well, you're about to be opened and introduced to the Motu universe. Here we go. Alright, so here they are in all their WWE glory. As you can see, these guys have no problem standing. You just have to work the feet in the right way, in the right positions, and carefully experiment with positioning the feet differently, because they do have the joints at the ankles and they could easily break and be irreplaceable sometimes. I mean, I've heard stories of some people emailing Mattel and getting another figure or maybe a refund, but that's really a lot of trouble. So be sure you're very carefully experimenting with how you're positioning these feet, because these guys don't really have a problem standing up. Now, out of all four of them, I would say Andre was the hardest to stand up at first. And it got me thinking for a while. So we're going to take a look at Andre first. So let's put these guys down here. So here we go. Here's Andre. He's a great figure. In my opinion, I would have loved for him to be a little taller, a little bigger. But he is bigger than the other figures. So let's put Brett right next to him just for a comparison here. So as you can see, he is bigger. But for sporting the original vintage Titus wear and stuff, it'd be awesome if he'd be just a little bigger, maybe like as big as those deluxe figures for the new CGI He-Man from Netflix that you see, the oversized ones. I mean, hell, I wouldn't mind an Andre figure that big, or like a Titus or Megator. Mattel has shown that they can make them. They can make them that size, so why not? Now, I don't know if they do make a Titus for Origins, Motu Origins. I don't know if they're going to make him this height. I mean, it would match Andre, you know, and it would put some consistency. It would save them some money. But and if they do come out like this size, I won't mind, because they'll match Andre and it would be kind of consistent, which is kind of cool. And then we can have Andre in like Preternia times. So Preternia is like the time before Eternia. How imaginative. But I do really like those storylines. It's like back dinosaurs and prehistoric times and stuff like that, and where the giants roamed freely. So I'm thinking about putting Andre back in my Preternia collection. And I think he goes well with that. I think Titus and Megator will as well. But anyway, let's get back to his feet here. So, as you can see, his feet are, they're kind of uniquely shaped right around the ankles here. See, and it's very easy to break these things if you take them right out of the package and then you start, especially if you're a kid, and you start messing around with it the wrong way, it will snap off. And I don't think it's supposed to snap off. I was so afraid that I was going to snap it off. So when I got him out of the package and attached the feet were like positioned in a totally wacky way. And I could not stand him up. And it took me a good 10 minutes to figure out that these are swivel ankles, and that they're supposed to slowly swivel into the right way. So you can actually swivel it to the back and to the front for different positions. I'm not going to mess with it anymore because I finally got his feet absolutely perfect. But as you can see, he has no problem standing, and that's because I got the swivel to stay right in the center there. So very carefully, and what I did was I pushed it very carefully with my thumb and just sort of like very carefully pushed it back or pushed it forward. So don't do anything hastily with these figures, or they could snap off. But as you can see, he is a great figure. Just check out the armor inspired by Motu Vintage Titus. Here's the back. So he's no problem standing up. So you've got profile, and he does especially at this angle, he looks like massive compared to Sergeant Slaughter back there. But so his headband is removable, very easily removable. Hi, Andre. Then you can put it right back on, and it looks sort of like very like medieval, very Eternian. He's just an overall great figure, I think. So there's Andre. Let's go to Brett, the Hitman Hart. And I do remember, I remember Brett from when I was a kid and was a fan of WWF. And but I don't remember too much. But I think this figure really hits the mark on the cool factor. Now, he's not a figure I originally wanted at first. I thought out of the whole wave, if I could at least get Andre, I'd be happy. And then, as a second, if I could get Junkyard Dog, that'd be great. I don't really know who Junkyard Dog is. I just think the figure, the way it was designed, is really cool. But we'll get back to that. But here we are with Brett. And he is obviously modeled after Triclops from the vintage line. And it took me a while to get used to just the way that this figure is designed. Because first of all, I'm really into Motu, not so much wrestling, but this has got the vibes of both. And I really wasn't a fan of of this from the bottom down. It's just basically a wrestling figure. And he's got hearts, and it's like pink. I mean, I don't mind the color, but I just didn't think like I was thinking like, okay, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I didn't know where to place him on or is he in between? And he might be in between actually, might be a little bit of both because the package doesn't say he's heroic or evil. It just I don't know. I forgot what the package said. I have to go get it, but it just. It made it seem like he was more of a just like a cunning warrior, you know. So he could either be good or bad. And I think his visor right here. This is more of the good part of him, I guess. So that would modeled after how he looked in the wrestling shows and stuff. You could easily take it off. There he is right there. Something you can't do with vintage Triclops. And so then. Okay, so then he's got the silver shades, which is like very, even he looks more like Triclops right there, but you can see his eyes, so you can just like push it down just a nudge. There you go. Yeah, he looks a lot like Triclops right there. So he looks very retro with the silver mirror shades, and then he just goes full out evil right here. So push down a little more. To make it seem, there you go, make it even with the rest of his face. So there he is just plain evil, it looks like. So he's got the three sides just like the vintage Triclops. And it'll have to be another video where I'm comparing him to the vintage Triclops. And I didn't get Motu Origins Triclops or the early version, what is it called, the mini comic Triclops. I didn't get that either, just because I have too many figures and one Triclops is enough, and this is kind of makes it two, so that's good, even though he's a separate character. So let's look at him from the bottom down. So same thing, got the swivel joints here. That'll go back and forth, so you can position him. And get the Triclops armor. So he's got a decal right here. Nice sword. Looks just like Triclops' sword, except it's pink. And through the back here, Very cool figure. So this is definitely a good addition. And he's even got like a weapon holster here. He can rest his sword. So he's a cool addition that he can fight Triclops. You know, he could either be his ally, his student, or he could just be from like the same, I don't know, tribe section of Eternia, and that he's underwent like a different kind of training. And you just be imaginative and make up your own origin. You can see here the belt. You can undo the belt, and then you can undo the armor and stuff. But I see no reason to do that. I like the armor the way it is. So he stands really nice there. So we'll go to Sergeant Slaughter next, because he's kind of a funny figure. He reminds me of G.I. Joe, obviously, like when I told you in the mornings when I was a kid at 6:30 and G.I. Joe was on. And then some of the episodes were actually the G.I. Joe animated movie split up into 30 minutes. It had an intro with Sergeant Slaughter, if I'm correct, on every one of those. And he was just like acting like a badass. I mean, I think he looked cool. And I didn't see him much when he did the wrestling. But, so it is kind of cool. It's not a figure I originally wanted, but he is kind of cool to have, to be the, you know, part of WWEF, whatever, and then G.I. Joe, and now Motu. It's just crazy. He's gotten around. So he's got the Man-at-Arms armor. So looking from the bottom, you'll see he's got the green armor on one side here, and then you just go up here. Repaint of the Man-at-Arms armor for Motu Origins. I don't know which came first. I think it was the Man-at-Arms Origins came first, and his battle mace looks just like Man-at-Arms. Painted, camouflage army and stuff. He is a really cool figure, and I do have a use for him now. So I could put him as, since I only got one Eternian Royal Guard so far, because he's kind of a hard figure to find. I just got one Eternian Guard. I mean, this guy looks like a guard as well. So he is the other Eternian Guard. Otherwise, I had no use for him. So I'm just going to put him to work as in the Guard Corps with Man-at-Arms and the Eternian Guard. They're just going to protect the castle when He-Man's out there fighting Skeletor. So his hat and his glasses. Let's get to the hat and glasses. First of all, let me not drop this. So there. He has no problem standing, as you can see. The smaller figures, I had no problem. They stood right out of the package. It was just Andre that posed a little bit of a problem, but which now is solved. As you can see back there, he's not falling down. But so Sergeant Slaughter, it came with a thin rubbery plastic around the face, and I didn't know why until I took it off. Then his sunglasses and hat fell off. So I think it was keeping his sunglasses and hat in place for the packaging. And it's optional whether you want to take it on or off. So it's kind of annoying because these can easily fall off. And they're so tiny of an accessory in the hat and everything. I would have preferred if he had actually like a helmet instead of a hat. Because you don't see a lot of Eternian warriors with the actual hat. You see them wearing helmets or something like that. So he's got the hat on. Let's take it off now. Yep, see? It easily comes off, and his sunglasses easily come off. These things are tiny. Kind of cool. I haven't seen Motu figures like this that have tiny accessories like this that just come off. So here's Sergeant Slaughter. Hey, Sarge. And let's see if I can do this with one hand. Okay. Anyway, there's Sergeant Slaughter. So it's a little problematic to get those little pieces perfect, because then the sunglasses are always kind of awkward, hanging off the wrong end and something. But other than that, I think he is a cool figure, and I do definitely have a place for him. So moving on to Junkyard Dog. So Junkyard Dog, I actually like this character because he's got the armor of Spike-Ore. I had to go look on my wall there because I have Spike-Ore in its package. But So he's sort of like a sequel for Spikor, or like he's a good guy, and he's got the grabbing armor here, or the weapon, and he's got the Spikor armor, which is really cool. Just the texture and to feel the character. And then again, I didn't know much about the actual wrestler. I didn't see. I think I looked him up on YouTube because I didn't understand the tagline on the toy package. It said a heroic grabber of cakes, and I mean I had an idea. Cakes, okay. I don't know if he's talking about food or if he's talking about grabbing a woman's, posterior. So I looked up. He's got a music video out from 1985 called I don't know, "Grabbing Cakes" or "Grab That Cake" or something like that. And yeah, it's about what do you think it might be about. So I mean, you can look it up if you want. It's kind of cheesy, but in a memorable 80s way. So the figure is just it was not hard to stand at all. Again, just like Brett, from the bottom there he goes. So from the bottom up, I had to mess with the little swivel joints here just for him to stand perfectly a little bit, but from the bottom he looks like a wrestler, and he's got his name, the initials on the side, and in the back it says Thump, which I guess was his catchphrase. And I mean, I could overlook that stuff because I'm more of a Eternian Warrior or He-Man collector, and I still think he fits in perfectly because of the Spikor armor. Because now Spikor has a arch nemesis, and I think that's really cool. But also, there's not too many back in the vintage line. There was just Clamp Champ as an African American hero, and I'm glad that they got Sunman from the other toy line to they bought the rights to distribute, because now Sunman's going to be the next wave of Motu Origins. So I'm definitely grabbing that. So I have Clamp Champ, now I have Junkyard Dog, and I'll get Sunman. And I would love to expand my African American action figure line with the 5.5 size, the He-Man size, and stuff like that. Now there are other ones too, like the one, I'm forgetting his name because again, I don't know much about wrestling, but the one that looked like Manny Faces, but he's hard to find. I wanted that figure, but he's hard to find. So I'm definitely, if I find that figure, he's on the secondary market, but it's hard to find in stores, and the secondary market can be quite pricey. So that being said, these guys were actually a steal when it comes to price from Big Bad Toy Store, because it was like around $70 in shipping to get these guys to me. And if you find them on the secondary market, look on eBay, Mercari, these guys, Andre's like over $100 just for his figure. And these guys are like $40-$50. And they retail for like $14.99, I believe, right? Or is it $17.99? Oh, it retails for a lot less at the store, if you can find them at the store. And I'm tired of just going to Walmart and striking out and not finding the figures, So I've been lucky with some of the other WWE figures and stuff, but these guys, I saw them going for a Big Bad Toy Store for just $70 in delivery, and so I thought, hey, that's perfect. Just get them all out at once and get it done, and they were delivered to me as no problem. So we are going to take a look at the mini comics real quick, and maybe the back card art. So here are these awesome dudes with their back cards and their mini comics. If you could say that, it's more like mini artwork, because there is no comic, and inside it's completely blank on both sides. And I was thinking like, man, I would love to have a few panels or something of an adventure with these guys, but there's no such thing. So these are just the covers, and then the back of the mini comic, and then there's absolutely nothing inside, which I'll show you in a moment. But so we got Brett, and probably I think out of all four of them, probably the best art for the back card. As you can see, it's got the seal right here for the official product seal, and then he's just looking really cool, and it looks like the Snake Mountain ring. I don't have the ring or anything because again, like I'm more of a Motu He-Man fan than I am wrestling, so I didn't get any of the rings. But it looks like Snake Mountain type background, and he's got the evil visor on and stuff. Really, really cool figure and card art. So, and it'll give you the instructions in the back. And it's got the rest of the wave here, which we have right here with us. And here's the mini comic. It looks like he's got who's that? Stone Cold, and then Triple H, and the Ram Man guy, which I'm completely forgetting. I didn't get these guys in the back. I didn't get him either because I think they're more wrestlers. They're just too well known, I believe. Well, in my eyes, I know them as wrestlers only. I don't think I can really blend them into the mythos of He-Man too much. So I just decided to just not get those figures. But they look cool nonetheless. And then Junkyard Dog, here's his art. Here he is battling a snake. And he's kind of like Clamp Champ a little bit. It kind of looks like he's using that clamped weapon. In the back, he's good. There's I did want this one, and I don't know. I don't even remember his name, but I did want this one because he was sort of like an evil robot. He could be like a counter to Roboto. So I haven't. I think it's Kane, right? Yeah, so it's Kane. So I haven't seen him in the store, so that's why I haven't gotten him. But if I do see him in store, I will get him. And as you can see, the imprint of the toy on the other side is kind of like seeped through the back and kind of ruined the back a little bit. And then here's his comic. He's battling that same snake, but we can see in the background it's Jake the Snake Roberts. And Jake the Snake, his figure is sort of like a King Hiss style figure, which I'm wondering if Motu Origin is going to do King Hiss that way. And I have King Hiss, and I have a whole bunch of the Snake Men, which, I mean, I haven't seen Jake the Snake on pegs or anything. It's always secondary on eBay, and he's always expensive. So maybe if I see him, I'll get him, just because he might be a cool addition to Preternia. That's when King Hiss was reigning and stuff like that, reigning Snake Mountain before Skeletor. Here is Sergeant Slaughter's card back art. So that's Rey Mysterio, I think, but it's like a Stratos type figure. I didn't get him, although I might think about getting him a little later. Again, I have not seen him in stores, just on secondary market. So a lot of these figures I have not seen in stores because they're just so collectible. But I'm thinking I might get him to add him to the Stratos team because he is different looking. But the only thing is with the Lucha mask and everything, he's making it look so much more like a wrestler than he is like a He-Man figure. But if I see him, for sure I might pick him up. Sergeant Slaughter got his hat and glasses back on, and then here's his card art where he's fighting the Ultimate Warrior, the second version of the Ultimate Warrior, which I do have that version because he is very much like a pre-Eternia prehistoric warrior type with a like caveman style cape and everything. So I do got that figure. And it would be cool to recreate this for some toy photography. And then we have Andre the Giant, last but not least. And the art looked kind of peculiar on this one. You got Hulk Hogan here, which again I don't have Hulk Hogan because he looks too much like a wrestler for him to fit in my collection. And then but here he is battling Hulk Hogan, and in the back, who's that in the back? I guess, it's Ultimate Warrior again, the second version. And then John Cena, the He-Man John Cena. So, and then in the back, it'll show you how to put the legs on. And it doesn't have any weapons. It would be awesome if it came with a Titus style weapon, which I think it was like a grabber thing, like a hammer style grabber where you clamp it down or you just kind of smash it down on a figure. And their torso goes into this hammer type containment capsule, and it would be cool if he had one of these. And actually, through the miracle of GIMP photo editing, I might be able to add one of those grabber weapons in through photo editing. So here's his comic. He is again battling Hulk Hogan. The art looks a little more in line with what Andre might look like. I like this card art too, but he looks like an alien kind of, but I still like it. And he's a little more meatier in this one. And then again, you can see John Cena and you can see the Ultimate Warrior in the back there. So the back will feature just sort of like a, it's got the weight, his weight, and it's got his height, his powers, foreign objects. Is that what it says? Eighth wonder of WW Eternia. And then on this side, here's Sergeant Slaughter's, which is really cool. I like that stance. That's really cool. So here's Junkyard Dogs. Very cool, very comic-y, very comic art style. And then here's Bret the Hitman Hart. Very cool. Ready to clash swords. Junkyard Dog fell down again. He's got his weapon to help him stand up, so that's kind of cool. So, here they are, guys. Hope you enjoyed this comprehensive look. We spent a lot of time looking at these guys. And I'm going to have fun taking pictures of them with my vintage figures. And we're going to have some fun. And you can check out those figures at my Instagram, which I have several Instagrams. I have 3. And the one with the He-Man figures is called Force of Grayskull on Instagram. And you can check us out there and see what I do with the toy photography. Well, thanks for joining me again. I highly appreciate hanging out and showing these guys off to you. And can't wait till the next video, guys. So I'll check you later. Bye.